Hello, math friends. Today I'm going to show you how to complete a Diffy Square. It's a lot of fun. It gives some great practice with some computation in a different kind of way. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw a square on a piece of paper or a whiteboard or whatever you have. And that's our starting square. And I'm going to label each of my corners with a different number. So I'm just picking any numbers here. I'm picking 25, 18. I'll make this one 7, and this one's 64. You can pick any numbers you want. They can be whole numbers, they can be decimal numbers, they can be fractions. So any kind of number will work for this. I'm going to switch to a different color here and find the middle of each of these lines. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find the difference between the two numbers that connect at that point I've placed on the line. So for this point, I'm looking for the difference between 25 and 7. So I'm really doing 25 minus 7. So 25 minus 7, if I take away 5, I'd be at 20. And if I took away 2 more, I would be at 18. So I'm using some mental strategies here. Now I want to find the difference between 25 and 18 here, and I'm going to place that at my point in the middle. So 25, if I took away 20, I'd be at 5, and I need to add 2 back because it was only 18, I'd be at 7. I'm going to find the difference between these two numbers down here, which is 18 and 64. So to think of that, I'm going to do 64 minus 18. So if I took away 20, I would be at 44, and I'd have to add 2 back in. That's 46. And I need the difference between 64 and 7. That's 64 minus 7. So if I took away 4, I'd be at 60. And if I took away 3 more, I'd be at 57. So I'm using some of my mental strategies to figure these out. You could also use some of the space along the sides if you wanted to write the numbers out and figure them out that way as well. Now I'm going to make a new square inside my original square that I started with. And I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to find the middle of each of my sides, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to find the difference between 18 and 7. That's 18 minus 7, which would be 11. I'm going to find the difference between 46 and 7. That's 46 minus 7. Well, 46 minus 6 is 40, so 1 more would be 39. I want to find the difference here between 46 and 57. That's 57 minus 46, and that would be 11. And I want to find the difference between 57 and 18. I'm going to take away 20 instead of 18. That's going to get me 37, and add 2 back. That's going to get me 39. So I'm going to make a new square again. Some of you may notice something about the numbers on this new square that I'm creating here. And I'm going to repeat again. So I'm going to draw my points in the middle of my lines. So I'm going to be finding the difference between the two numbers. I have a 39 and an 11, and that difference would be 28. I have a 39 and 11, that difference would be 28. 39 and 11, difference would be 28. And a 39 and 11, the difference would be 28. I'm going to make a new square here. And do the same thing I did before. You may really notice something now. 28 and 28 would have a difference of 0. 28 and 28, a difference of 0, a difference of 0, and a difference of 0. I don't need to continue my Diffy Square anymore because I got it all the way down to 0. So the difference between those two numbers would always be 0. So at this point, my Diffy Square is complete. It's interesting because no matter what numbers you choose to start with, you'll always be able to get your Diffy Square down to ending at 0. It's really kind of a fascinating thing. We're not going to count the square that we started with, but we are going to count how many squares inside. We call those layers. So not our opening square, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this particular Diffy square had 4 layers to it because I was able to make 4 squares inside of my original square. So my challenge to you is try out your own Diffy squares with any numbers that you would like. They can be as large as you want, they can be as small as you want, and see how many layers you end up with in your Diffy square. Have fun!